Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Stills! Here's Hargreaves.
Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Gull'S Eye View, brought to you by Galaxy TQ. I'm joined by Tom.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, Sheridan. Good evening, Yellow Army, and good evening to anyone spying it. I mean, just randomly watching us this evening. Good evening.
Yeah, we were probably been spied on, so I don't need to introduce everyone now. But yes, we're joined by Sheridan today, who is delighted to talk about the football game that happened on Tuesday. Dom and Chris, hello.
Good evening, everybody.
Good.
Hello.
Good to see you, Sheridan.
Dom, we need to get in. Dom needs to stop appointing the guest, though, Danny. It's just not on.
Who am I going to invite? We never beat anybody. When am I going to get somebody we can talk to?
So, in the second episode, we're also going to talk about the ownership and what's going on there. But first of all, we're going to talk about the big game this week. So we beat Bath 1-0 on Saturday.
Yes,
get in.
Thanks for that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we beat Bath
pleasure.
Saturday. I wasn't there. I made the decision to travel up and watch my first Leicester game in 12 years.
Went well.
And they lost as well, Swanee.
Yeah. No, I went there. First, they won 9 games and I went there. They lost. And then I was like, I won't bother coming back for Torquay. They won. But who was there? I guess Chris, Dom.
I wasn't there.
No, it was just me. I think.
There, just Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God,
Chris,
sorry. I have to snap me to life. Sorry.
Give us a bit of it.
I mean, it was a game we deserved to win, although I have to say it wasn't brilliant. It was very much as a lot of the season has been, really. The games that we've won, you've kind of gone, yeah, we've won, but it wasn't exhilarating. We were the better side. Bath sat back, which was not helpful. I mean, I've got a mate who's a Bath fan, and he said that you've got to watch them down the wings. They'll go for you down the sides, and if you can nullify that, then and kind of play the game down the middle, and which we did to a point. We didn't create loads in the first half. Shooter McGavin had a couple of opportunities, and we had one kind of keeping my 2 decent shades, but they didn't really come out. Lovett didn't have much to do in goal, and then the second half we, which is good, yeah, absolutely. So he had stuff to do on Tuesday, didn't do it very well. Saturday, I mean second half we kind of pushed and. Kind of they weren't really looking like they were going to score, and then obviously we got a massive slice of luck with the goal. But it's the classic: if you don't shoot, you don't score, isn't it? And he hit the shot with power. It took a good deflection and zipped up and over it. And then after that, they all of a sudden they kind of went, "Oh, we've woken up now, crikey! We need to try to do something," and started kind of bombing balls in the box, and it nearly dropped a couple of times. And Lovett had one save to make that went through his hands, and he managed to kind of made it into a very good save by dropping it behind him and having to react before somebody put it in. But I think we did deserve to win the game. It was in keeping with a lot of the wins this season, not very kind of excitable and a bit kind of in terms of performance. But we got the 3 points, which is all that matters.
Very good, Chris. That was very good. Not even a pause for breath either during that.
Good, thank you. Pleasure.
I mean, yeah,
I thought the more I span it out, the less we have to talk about Tuesday.
Yeah,
I
was like, we haven't invited a guest on us to speak about the Bath win, sadly. But I mean, there's nothing. I was kind of happy after that game, but you kind of knew what was happening. So go to Sheridan before the Yeovil game. You touched on it before we started recording. What was the Yeovil thoughts before the game? Like, what do you expect from Torquay?
Do you know what? As I was saying to you before we came on air, all the nerves came from our supporters. If you went on social media, you would think that it was going to be an easy ride, and we are on such a fantastic run. But I think, as one of you tweeted me, all good runs have to come to an end at some point. Yeah. And it just felt like it was the bigger game. We're playing sides that you don't expect to play week in, week out, either of us. And we don't want to be playing week in, week out, but we are. Whereas this is kind of it's got
a proper game. You can say it.
A proper stadium, a proper rivalry, a proper, 2 teams that are expected to do well in this division. And I saw a lot of people who sort of said the same as me, because I was quite nervous. I was nervous about it. I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. There's always that added thing when you're playing against your old manager. There's always an edge to that. So in the build up, it was more negativity from you guys rather than sort of the real positivity from Yeovil. I think even though when the run does come to an end, which it will,
Leicester's did.
You know, it has to. We will look at it and go, well, what a fantastic run. And even if that had happened on Tuesday, we'd have had to say, you know, winning 11 games in a row is ridiculous. But it just felt like either way, from either side, whoever had won it, it was a statement, because I think, you know, it either pulls us further away or, you know, it brings you guys back in. So it did feel like a big game, particularly pre-match.
I mean, I obviously thought it'd be a draw. I thought we'd actually going to turn up and, you know, show a bit of being talky and that. But I mean, from my point of view, I mean, going to the game, I was not very confident. But like, do you know what it felt like to me? We're going to the parts of the game a bit more. It felt like a cup game where an away team, 3 or 4 divisions, maybe that's a bit too harsh, 2 or 3 divisions above, have come down. They haven't really got out of first or second gear. I don't feel like Yeovil actually were like really going through it. I just felt like it was a professional job. Like when we got the second goal and the first goal, the goal back, and then all of a sudden Yeovil just went, oh, we've turned up a bit. You know, I just felt like
it too easy, didn't they?
I didn't think Yeovil got out first or second gear. We just didn't give them a game. That's probably the easiest game we're going to have all season.
I actually thought your first 10 minutes was good.
Had to get a goal early.
You came out at us. We didn't have the ball for the first 5 or so minutes, which, you know, we're quite a possession-based side. And I remember thinking, oh, you know, they're up for this. They are up for this. As soon as we had the chance, I think Murphy's chance, after Murphy's chance went just wide, we were like, oh, we'll score. We were so confident we were going to score. And I think from that moment on, it became quite dominant and we completely controlled it from there. But early on, I thought if you'd been able to maintain that level of performance, you were going to cause us problems.
That's what we did a lot last season, Sheridan. We'd start well the first 10 minutes, but as soon as
this is the thing, like, the way you set
against us, we couldn't we couldn't come back from it.
This is the thing. Like, no, you're very right. Actually, that was just like watching us in National League last season.
We've got no bottle to react to the other team switching up the gears, have we?
Having said that, though, I'm not. That stat that we were discussing again on the WhatsApp group that Dom brought out weeks ago and still exists, that we haven't scored in the first half an hour of a game since the opening day of the season.
That's great.
But I mean, we didn't look like scoring. It was like Bath. No. You know, I was watching the game, the Bath game, and you think, well, how are we going to score? Because without Jarvis down the middle, you know, that option of Stobbs down the right, balls in the box, picking up seconds has been an area where we score goals. But you thought, how are we going to score goals? And we had the one ball across the box that Williams just reacted to before Ash behind him. He would have walked it in or maybe missed the way he's playing at the moment. But other than that, we didn't look like scoring. And as soon as Sheridan said there, as soon as Yeovil got on the ball, as soon as they started the little patterns, as soon as they started trying to move us around, it wasn't quite whether they're going to score, but it was kind of like, it's coming.
It was really good football by Yeovil. Like,
they did impress me,
like, because it wasn't this like passing for the sake of it, but it's how passing should be done and how passing is really done at a lower level. Where
you mean, sorry, Sam, it looks like you're talking about a structure and a pattern of play. Is that what you're talking about?
This is the thing though, because when we were quite good a couple of years ago, and like the season we like after the playoff final that season, we were quite a counter-attack team against like we nicked results from like Wrexham and all that. And we thought, oh, we wouldn't have the ball much, and that's okay. My problem was, as soon as Torquay got the ball, just absolutely no idea what they're going to do. No quality. It's fine playing give Yeovil the ball, but we're going to counter attack and do. You know,
but we gave them the ball. They didn't have to do anything. We gave away the ball so many times.
I mean, that first goal is so easy.
They're all avoidable goals.
And I'm going to speak about Reece Lovett. Because I can speak about Swan because. The problem I have with Reece
Sheridan's face sums it up before Sam's even started.
Yeah, I have a problem with Reece Lovett. Now, I compare him to Jordan Seabright a few years ago. Very similar abilities.
You might remember him, Sheridan. He's the guy who left Torquay to go and be a car salesman in Dorset. You might remember that story.
He played about 5 games, didn't he, Sam?
Yeah, he gave up.
But he was in the first team and then he just left. That was it. Gone.
Yeah, and he was just like, I'm like Crowley now. And then he played for like Wimborne or someone or in that sort of anyway, so Reece Lovett. My problem with Reece Lovett is that the lack of stature and the way he kind of holds himself, because he can make a good few saves, but like he has this, it's just like Seabright. I don't know how anyone can say it, but he kind of like holds himself like this. I mean, I'm not one to talk about presence and stature. So the weight of his kind of like body when he moves is all off. So, I mean, the third goal is the best example of that because like it's up here. It should just be a catch or a punch. And he's kind of, he's down here. So it's awful.
To be honest, Sam, I would say the first goal's The first goal is a better example because actually that
He's
1-2 is there and Newblay's running at him.
He should
And I'm
class a
thinking,
noodle.
right, come on, come out. At that point, you've got
Make
to come out,
yourself big.
get in his face, make him panic, make him do something. Say, right, come on, you've got to beat me.
Yeah, like
and
he
he got closer and closer and closer, and he's still on the goal line. I mean,
and then he just has that pathetic,
6-8 yards out.
Yeah,
come
no.
Hit him. Come
and the second goal,
give him a decision.
He's a very typical reserve goalkeeper, though, isn't he? Like that, he hasn't got a lot of stature or aggression. That's why he's a reserve goalkeeper in National League South. That's why.
But my big goal showed him.
I was to say, you also had the chance to close Newblay down first off.
Yeah, mental defending.
That 1-2 between him and Murphy. I mean, they do that every week, but you didn't even try and close.
So easy.
It felt like it was. Yeah,
we've got no enforcers in the middle to. We've got no enforcers in the middle to take players out and make the tackles and that. And the second goal, they just walk through again.
Seen that second goal so many times, haven't we?
Yep.
This season, that ball
was on a 6-yard box.
Come out to him. Come out to him. No, go make a tackle. No, come make a tackle. Oh, isn't it? And they just don't get out. They just don't
it's
press.
Awful.
And it's
all
so
the goals
frustrating.
are awful by the outfielders as well. It's not all of its fault. They all should never have been shots. But again, he's on a 6-yard box. I don't understand. It's like goalkeepers went through a stage doing that in the Premier League. Like Aurelio Gomez and Szczesny did that for like 6-7 years ago, and they got stamped out. But it just doesn't help. But then it's frustrating because he makes a couple of good saves and he lets himself down again. But my big problem with Lovett, he needs games. Like if he I understand. Like okay, say on there's another year as a professional footballer, but he needed games at this point of his career. Like look at Sean McDonald. Sean McDonald when he started with us, that was our keeper when we were in the South last time. Showing. So he started, and he was a good shot stopper. He had no presence, so he was awful at one-on-ones. And then he played more and more games. Had a good goalkeeper coach who is.
He was an aggressive personality, though.
But he is now the Yeovil goalkeeper coach. Can I point out the Yeovil goalkeeper coach Osborne, who helped him? And you're right. He had aggressive personality.
He had aggression about him. I didn't see that with Reece. He seems quite a too nice.
You know what I mean? He's a nice. Like, you can tell he's a nice lad, but he's just not aggressive enough on the football pitch.
He's symptomatic of our squad. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah,
and that's what
he needs to be playing games. Else, when you're just a number two. Unless you've got your Ricardo races, you need games. He needed a game as he could probably got in as maybe a lower South team or the division below. He's been a Van Rhyme South keeper before, but he should have just been a number one part-time, and then he would have got better. Just sitting on the bench, and then he's just so nervous every time he plays at Plainmoor.
That means he has to get a job, Sam, though, doesn't it? If you get offered a full-time deal, you take it, don't you?
That's the thing. I mean, that is the thing, and that's what he's chosen.
It was inevitable that Frank would score.
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah. He played great. He's such
a... You know what? So he against Gateshead in the FA Cup. It was the best game I've seen him play. He was unplayable, unbelievable. And he didn't score, but I made a point on commentary to say that is just the best game that Frank Newblay has played because he was just at the heart of everything, and the way he's running at players as well at the moment, he's adding something more to his game. And I think he's got such a natural finisher in Murphy alongside him, he has that freedom.
His movement's also good, isn't it? He gets down the channels well, and suddenly he'll find gaps. He's like, well, there's this big guy. How is he getting so much space?
Yeah. It's all in here, and our players have no intelligence.
He's been given a pre-season to get himself fit, and now Yeovil are reaping the rewards.
Yeah.
I thought what was interesting about the way Newblay played actually was that, for us, when he played for us, a lot of it was about physique and, into chest, hold the ball up, turn, bring people into the play. But actually, I thought Tomlinson and Marshall, whilst he was on, actually dealt with him aerially pretty well. In that he didn't win much in the air. They obviously, as soon as the ball was coming, both of them were going in. One was on top of him, one was going to win the ball. But actually, aerially, he didn't do much. What I noticed, kind of watching him, not when you're supporting him, if that makes sense, oddly, was the movement. The way I saw a comment from a Yeovil fan before the game about how he made spaces, how he pulls people out, and he pulls the centre backs out, and those spaces are then going behind. But there was a lot of that. Young who plays in behind, and Stevens that came on.
Oh, Young,
space
what a player.
He draws out would make such a difference, and you could have scored a couple of goals from that.
It's that movement, the fluidity, wasn't it? It was just a different level to ours.
Brad Young, what a player! I'll see why Maguire Drew doesn't get minutes now.
No, he's not getting.
He didn't even get on, Sam. Was he on the bench even?
He was.
He was on the bench. He wasn't even on the bench.
Oh, was he not?
Mental.
That was probably for his own safety in case Sam
Yeovil, basically, what has happened, Yeovil have a very good National League team. If Yeovil were in the National League now, they'll probably playoffs.
But I kept thinking that, and I thought, or am I just actually enjoying some good football for once? Am I just like, I can't believe
No, your team will be right up there next season.
Yeah, we've also now beat 2 National League teams comfortably in the FA Cup. So I do think that actually this is so far superior to the team.
It's a lot better than the team that we won the South with as well. Not better, but it's got the depth ready for the National League. Like, we had an amazing 11 or 12, but as soon as they start getting injured in National League, we got a bit found out. But I've got the experience in there as well.
Because actually we don't have a big squad. We don't have a very big squad, but it's quality.
They've got legs as well. I mean, they've got legs in there. The midfielders were just constantly moving. Different class to what we've got at the moment.
We are just a pretty okay.
There's no energy.
South team. We're an okay Vanarama South team and might scrape playoffs if we're lucky.
I have to say, go on.
Can I mention the Brad Ashmith?
Yeah,
does it every week, mate. He only did one this week. He does 2 usually.
I mean, obviously I was at the other end, but it looked pretty bad from where I was.
Yeah,
it was almost on par with Weston, wasn't it? He missed that one from about 6 minutes out.
No. I felt for him. The Western one's no excuse for that. I felt for him because actually he's gone around the keeper and he's going to look up and there was 4 people on the line, weren't there? There were 4 people between him and the goal. What you've got to do is get it on target. If one of them blocks it, fine. But he didn't have time to place it. You have to turn and get a shot off. And if it goes past one of them, it goes past one of them. So, but the criminal part was missing the target.
Nobody gets in all the right positions all the time, but he can't score that.
No. Nobody thought he was going to score, did they? Including him, unfortunately. When you're in a bad run of form,
he's getting in all the right positions every week, but he can't find a target.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times I said that. I said that's my dad. I said they need to get that. You've got to get that on target. You've got to get that on target.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then you don't know where your luck is, do you? If you get it on target,
absolutely. Just get it on target. It might go in.
Yeah,
and we've got this new lad as well, right?
He's just not doing it.
That lad's from Fleetwood up front. Like, he's a small, pacey, I reckon, quite a talented player.
I felt very sorry for him.
And we're pumping long balls. He had one chance. Yep. He made that right at the end of the game where he just brought the ball down and hit it from nowhere. And it was a decent effort from like nowhere. And I'm like, if we just played it on the deck to his feet, he could have done something. He's just been wasted all game. I felt so sorry for him.
You've got to earn the right to play the football, though. We don't work hard enough.
No.
And we haven't got the quality to do it, have we? That's what Yeovil were doing. They were pushing forward. They were bossing the game. That's when you earn the right to play your football. And that's when you... What
did you think about our team, Sheridan, from an external point of view? Because we can whinge and moan about it because we see it a lot. But from somebody who doesn't watch us every week, what struck you?
Yeah, I think as I said to you before, I was quite struck because obviously you just look at the results come in and look at the league table, and I was struck by how negative you guys were, and not just you guys on this Zoom, Torquay fans in general. I can really see why. I thought it was a very poor performance. I was expecting so much more, especially after the opening 5 or so minutes, where I just thought, oh, they're going to come at us. They're going to really push us. They're going to take the game to us. They're at home. They're going to dictate it. There was none of that afterwards.
I bet you could feel the atmosphere, couldn't you, as well?
Yeah, I thought it was passive. I thought you didn't have much creativity. I think that was really, really clear.
Yeah.
You were limited to long range efforts, which obviously you scored a cracking goal.
Another one, Tommy. Another one.
Don't remind me, please.
I did think you. I thought there he is again. But I did not expect it to be so straightforward, and I really did feel like we were superior in every area. I really did.
You've seen a lot of Gary Johnson, probably more Gary Johnson managed games than us over the years. Is that just do you look at this and think, how was Gary Johnson managing his team, or is it something you might have seen before when they're?
I did wonder if they were playing for him. I did wonder that, because it just didn't feel like it was a spark, and it should be. It's a Tuesday night. It's again. I mean, I don't know. I'm not there every week, but it didn't. Even substitutions didn't really spark anything, and that's always a bit of a worry. I didn't think he was able to change much. I know you've got a lot of injuries, haven't you? But
that was why we lost. That was the excuse this week why we lost.
Yeah, that was his weekly excuse. When
you're missing 5 of your best players, what do you expect?
Yeah. But you've got a player like Collins who's absolutely dreadful recently. And Gary Johnson was giving him an awful lot of stick from the sidelines. I think Downs was almost like.
But is that his natural position, Collins? Is he more centre forward?
So Lewis Collins is a player for me.
What position is that?
Lewis Collins is a player who, Jarvis aside, I thought was our best player going into the season, because he proved himself at National League level. He's had moments at League Two. And I personally thought if he does well this season, does well National League, he'll be back in the Football League. And that is kind of course, it's on the player as well, but that's kind of on the management. And it kind of sums up every player we talk about. Love it from the goalkeeper side. All these players, Marshall, they're not improving, they're getting worse. And I know they're not good.
There was one moment, wasn't there, where he
Collins is just a Sunday League player at the moment. And this guy had Football League potential and glimpses. And I thought he's so good last season.
We had a counter-attack one stage, didn't we?
Yeah.
Came
4-on-2.
We had men over. That was a real chance.
Yeovil posted that today, didn't they?
The lack of confidence because there was no belief in what he was going to do with the ball.
And I mean, Dean, can I just say, I don't.
And it was such a shit pass as well. It was such a shit pass. What's he doing?
Do you know the thing about that? Dad said it to me, and I just thought it as he was running with the ball. Then you could see the crowd work. You could see we had men over. We thought, this is it. We're gonna. And you could feel. My dad said, as it happened, he said, I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah.
And you think, and I thought to myself, what an odd thing to him. And actually, as he was running this towards it, I remember thinking he's going to give the ball away here. And he is symptomatic of everything that's going on at the moment. He is lost positionally. He has no confidence. He doesn't know where he's meant to be, what he's meant to be doing. And it was that comment from my dad. I thought that's interesting because I thought that. I didn't think
I was
one
thinking,
pass him in. You thought he's going to give us away here.
Do you know what I was thinking? Why on earth is Dean Moxey our furthest player forward apart from Collins? Because he was like running and sprinting, and all the Yeovil players, it's on the Twitter that went past him, and then Collins just passes it. And I'm like,
you say Yeovil have posted it today, and there's a lot of quote tweets from your fans saying that's what we don't have.
Yeah.
Passion to get back.
That's what Gary Johnson teams are about, though.
Yeah,
we're the best at football, but we'd work harder than you.
We're going to play exciting football this season. We're going to give it a right crack. It's a joke, and it's interesting, Sheridan, that you say like from an an opposition view about the players not playing for Gary, because we found even last season like they were still playing for him. They weren't playing for him, but that's the first time I've kind of heard. From your view,
I thought all season
they don't think they're playing for him
for about last 10 games or 90.
And it might even be, when it gets to the point where they think they're playing for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're banging on. I think that's what we are.
Because he's been there a long time, and a lot of the
too long.
Yeah, and
2 years too long.
Perhaps have been there too long. I was just looking at your squad, and I was like, remember these from a few years ago? Like,
the whole at the end of the season, especially even if we did go up somehow, whole thing just has to go for me. Honestly, whole thing has to go.
When a team's been relegated, I mean, we've got a few obviously that were there last year, but there's a lot of new faces as well, and sometimes that is kind of needed. I thought De Silva, is it, when he came on?
Yeah, he actually offered a bit of pace when he came on.
I thought
until he had to cross it.
Yeah.
Still hasn't improved his crossing.
When he got into the box
and crossed it past the edge.
And he got past Michael Smith, which is no mean feat. But then
we got no overlap. That's the trouble.
Yeah.
Our fullbacks don't attack like Yeovils were getting up there. We don't get any overlap, so the wingers
he's not even 50% yet, is he? He's only just come back from injury. Gary said it in his post-match interview. He's only going to play short stints.
The problem is, I joke about his crap crossing, but the problem is, what is the point of playing with wingers? If we finish that game with Stobbs on one side, De Silva on the other, what is the point of having wingers? What are they going to cross it to? They're going to look up. And who's going to rise? Who's going to rise like a salmon and head it in? No one.
I think going back to the manager for me, I mean, if a new manager comes in, these players suddenly have new ideas and they go, "Oh yes, we can do this. It's something different. I can manage something different in this match. We can make something work." I just think that it would be like a light bulb would go on.
It's our only hope if we want to get promotion this season. Yeah. I think we all agree that top spot is gone. I think Yeovil will walk it now. I do think they'll win it by at least 20 points.
I called that like 5 or 6 games ago.
I hate to say it.
We were supposed to get playoffs in this regime.
I wouldn't go that far because we've only played 16 games. Interestingly, and I would ask Sheridan that my dad said I wasn't at the game when we played Worthing. He said they weren't as good as Worthing.
But that's because they didn't get out of first gear. Because they
but that might be why, exactly. But that might well be why. But actually, he said in terms of football, Worthing batters us off the park. Whereas Yeovil weren't quite like that.
With Worthing. I thought Worthing were outstanding against us. Outstanding. But we found a way to win in the 98th. So perhaps that's what we've got. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to run away with it because 16 games in, I'm not doing that. And we are far away in a better position than I thought we'd be at this point. But Worthing are as a footballing side, are superb.
Yeovil probably got a stronger defence, and goalkeeper looks the part as well. Sharon,
Is Joe Day until the end of the season, or is he
till January? But I'm hoping that he'll stay till the end.
Newport are playing Townsend and all that. I don't think Day will go be recalled.
I mean, he's been unbelievable. And did you hear the story about his spider bite?
Yeah, no, I was waiting for the Petr Cech hat.
Oh, is that why he had some? Is that why he had a plaster ear or something? I noticed that.
Before the Gateshead game, he'd been in hospital all week on a drip because he'd been bitten by a spider, and he had to wear a Petr Cech style hat, and he hadn't trained all week, and it was unreal.
Still better than us.
But yeah, he is a class act for sure.
I have to say, I felt odd. That kind of yesterday after the game when everyone at work was taking their what's it because we got beaten and stuff. I felt a bit odd about it because actually I don't mind going to a game where you get beaten by a better team. That's fine because that happened. You know, we were beaten by an infinitely better team in that, and that's fine. I think why I felt so odd and I guess upset about it was just the fact that this was meant to be it. This was meant to be the big battle. This was meant to be the level that we were trying to play at.
Game
and when you're beaten that convincingly by this so far outstanding team in the league, that was meant to be the level that we were at. And when you see just how far away from that level we are, it's a bit embarrassing to be honest.
It was the second half when the new player would get it outside the penalty area. Nobody went towards them, did they? Where's our aggression of fighting this? This is supposed to be a battle. It was men against boys, wasn't it?
It should have been more as well. Let's be honest. I mean, I know we've been criticising Lovett, but he did make some very sharp saves. But then again, like Moxie gave the ball away just before the corner for their third.
All the goals were faults of the outfielders as well.
And that's what angers me the most. Is yes, Yeovil are a very good football side, and they are better than us. In fact, I would say they're probably a good level above us at this stage. In terms of their depth and squad, but we again, how many more times are we going to gift the opposition chances to score? They're good enough to do it on their own, let alone us helping them. It's just embarrassing.
As many goals as anyone in the top 16, I think, teams this season. That's just pitiful, really, isn't it?
It's a joke.
I think also
anything this season.
The most damning indictment, which my dad have been saying for the last month is. And I've always thought this wouldn't change, because sometimes you think, would a change of manager help? Well, no, look, actually, the players, you got what you got. But would a new manager be able to get more out of the group of players than we have right now? And I think the answer for me is unequivocally yes, because the structure would change. The structure would be better.
It's not going to happen, is it? Like just from the things you read here and there, like we're stuck with Johnston to the end of the season. Really, the board can't and won't sack him, and then we'll talk about more of that in the second part. But I've almost given up going Gary out now because it's not going to happen. It's obvious. He's not going to walk away.
You can tell, like if you've watched this level now. When you watch the players that are part-time, when your players are on the ball, you can tell they're good players. They're good, solid, full-time professional players that have some quality, and we could see that. It just perhaps wasn't working as a team. You certainly weren't playing as much of a team as
you're completely right. It's all an individual effort. I still will say, even though these players have been terrible and they have big weaknesses and they're not as good as the Yeovil squad, this squad should be about 3 or 4 points behind Yeovil. You know what I mean? It should be a closer gap. They are good.
But what a goal by McGavin, though.
Oh,
what a goal.
It just shows he's got ability.
Goal of the game, wasn't it?
Their game plan was to press McGavin. If anyone watches this video, then I'm going to now speak Torquay. Ella Kobe did it at Maidstone and Cooper's done it at Yeovil. You press McGavin, you don't give him space on the ball, and then we lose. Bath, so I heard let McGavin had space and we win.
Yeah, there was loads of space. Yeah,
he had a ball game,
the whole play.
Fair, didn't he? He did score.
Yeah, he's got quality, but if he
gave the ball away a fair bit.
He's too static in the midfield for me, though. Yes, he's got a banger in him every now and then, but I still think it's more of a hindrance.
4 times in a month, Tommy.
Yeah.
Not every now and again, 4 times in a month. But
well, he scored an own goal last week, so he's at 3 as far as I'm concerned. So
he gets so wound up about this, Sheridan. He really does.
It's only going to cost him a pint, Sheridan. It's not going to cost him like a significant outlay here. I think he was. Are we working at bringing your mood down, Sheridan? Have we done well at that? Or not? No. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Who are you playing this weekend?
Dover at home.
Not at home by any chance, are they? Oh, they're at home.
Home again.
And what about next midweek? You're home then?
Yeah, I think we are.
Oh, what a surprise! Yeah. I do my research.
Oh, come on, it's written in the stars, isn't it? Bottom or second bottom Dover to stop the.
You wait. We're at Haven. We're at Haven.
Well, they've only beaten one team this season.
And
was Yeovil, wasn't it?
Class strikers. They just signed 2 class strikers, honestly.
Every time I see a Havant and Waterlooville result, I'm like, our result just looks more mental by the day. Like,
but they're getting hammered as well. They're not losing. They're getting hammered by everyone, aren't they? That's
just wait till
There was one of my favourite moments from Tuesday night was brilliant. At half time, me and my dad would have stood there kind of a bit show-shocked thinking we were debating how this could be embarrassing and it could be awful. And then they did the 50-50 draw. And then the guy said, and the second prize is a pair of tickets. And at that moment, I wasn't thinking about it. And then like me and my dad looked at each other simultaneously and went, oh, gosh, you've got to play them again next week.
Yeah. Did you not hear the boos?
Game. Yeah. That was it.
Right,
so much derision.
We'll rest a few for them.
Nice.
It was so funny when you
Maguire,
oh God, we got it again. Oh.
Yeah.
Maguire should play in that game, surely.
Yeah,
He might, Sam. Yeah, he might.
I won't be there.
Do you think Yeovil will play a strong team in that Sheridan, or shuffle it round?
It's a tin pot competition. You don't want to win it.
I don't know. We don't have a massive squad anyway, to be honest. It won't be 11 changes because that's just not physically possible.
Right.
But I would imagine Jordan Maguire-Drew will play. Will Dawes will start maybe. So I think there'll be a few changes. But in terms of defensively, will probably be the same. We don't have a lot of depth in defence.
There's a couple of games to get some injuries though, so maybe that might help.
Might help. Hope not. I hope not. But yeah,
seriously, the attendance of that game is going to be very interesting, isn't it? Because I mean Yeovil again. I'm guessing Yeovil aren't how can I put this tactfully? Hugely supported away side, let's say. But for a trophy game like that, yes, they're top of the league. Yes, they're winning loads of games. But will people bother for a trophy game in that sense? Will it be a similar number, maybe?
I asked you that in the summer, Sheridan, and you defended it a little bit. But 560 the other night, we'd have taken.
We would have
taken 1,000 on a Tuesday.
And lost.
If we were top of the league and had won 11 games,
we took 800 to Western Supermare, and I 8,000.
So did they.
We would have taken more.
So did we? Yeah, so did we.
Yeah, I know, but we
have travelled well. We have travelled really well. I think there's been so many home games. I think that's probably playing a part.
No excuse. We'd have 1,000.
Oh, what I haven't mentioned is that we smashed your attendance record in the National League.
Oh yeah.
Well, your ground does hold more than ours.
Schools, weren't they?
Yeah, we can't really fit that in our stadium.
So they're right as long as they don't have to leave the county or something.
As I said, we're all going to get banned in the next year.
Yeah.
Ban us tonight after what I'm going to say in the second episode.
Imagine boasting that you've broken the National League South attendance record. I mean, how low have you fallen? How low have we fallen?
Sorry, I'm just scrolling down the league table. There we go.
Hey.
On that note, right.
Touching distance of the playoffs. These are days.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the table in about 2 months.
I look at the table every day.
Yeah.
We've already
won.
Somebody commented that our next 4 away games, our next 4 league games are away, and I just we've lost our last 4 away in the league. 3 away in the league? 4, I think.
Wait, they're all away the next 4?
Yeah.
Next 4 in the league.
I don't have to go losers. Get in.
We got the Yeovil Trophy game.
Ask something, because I know it's been quite negative, but if you got playoffs, that would be success, no?
If we didn't win, we wouldn't.
No?
If we won them,
it would be
a success.
It would be now.
The playoffs.
Would be now.
The playoffs are always a lottery, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't fit.
As you know.
No, you can't tell me. If Torquay get promoted for the playoffs, it's like what's going on. I'll be celebrating. It's more fun than win the league.
Only a success if we go up, isn't it?
Yeah. If we get the playoffs and we lose, it's a disaster.
Torquay United, as it stands at the moment, if we were to win the playoffs, would be a miracle for me. But I've always maintained that my minimum expectation this season is promotion. And however it comes. If we can't finish first, finish second, get the home advantage. Because we were saying all right.
Week, weren't we?
And that can still be done.
Second is so important in this league as well, isn't it? In the way that it's not the second, third. The second, third's important in the National League in that bypasses the eliminators. But basically, 2 home games from promotion, aren't you? If you finish second, so that is key for whoever finishes second, isn't it? And that's what that second has to be That's what it's got to be the tie because I can't see us winning the league.
I think we got all roped into how good we'd be this season and pre-season. We had a couple of good matches against Exeter and
we
Plymouth.
didn't finish
we got roped
building
in
the
again.
squads.
And I think we all overestimated how good a coach Gary Johnson still is because he's just getting worse as a coach.
I have to say,
nothing's improving at the club.
I watched the post-match and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's sad, isn't it?
It's falling stuff, isn't it?
There was nothing there. There was
He's
nothing.
a shadow. He kind of if he's like that to the press, imagine what he's like in his own dressing room.
Did you hear what he said first in his interview? He was asked, what were your thoughts? He was like, well, I've heard the thoughts from many of the supporters tonight.
Brilliant, isn't it?
But anyway, and kind of laughed it off. Yeah.
Why is he doing it to himself? Gary, go and enjoy your retirement.
Yeah.
You're ruining day by day, game by game, you're ruining like your thing at the football club. I think people respect him a lot more again because Gary is right. We've had some amazing times. Gary Johnson's the first man under his reign that made me enjoy being a Torquay fan for about 7 or 8 years. But now he's taken us to a worse point than he was when he joined us.
He had fun, he had energy, we played attacking football.
So as he walked in the door, we were like, this man's it. He had all of it. As you said, Tom, he had energy, he had everything. He had aura. He's a shadow. I feel so sad looking at him now.
Dad and I had a very interesting conversation in the car home after the game about actually what is it that makes managers, not just Gary Johnson, but just managers in general, are they stubborn? Are they obdurate, or is it just belief? Because actually, you're going into work every day. You're going to games on Saturdays, getting battered by everybody. There's no positivity. No one thinks you're any good. Everyone's telling you to get lost and eat crap and whatever. So, are they obdurate? Is it belief? They say no. Actually, I've signed this group of players. I believe that they are going to produce for us. Is it desperation? Is it what is it that kind of makes people? Because being him right now cannot be any fun. Cannot be any fun.
But if he's taking in a couple of grand, if he's taking in a couple of grand a week,
I don't know. It's about that. There is it. We all go to work for the money, but we've got to enjoy what we do, or we wouldn't do it.
But then he does. Right. As far as I'm to believe, he only comes down middle of the week to the weekend, doesn't he? He doesn't commute down from Pontyhead, does he? I don't know where he lives.
His strength for a manager has been that motivational skills, and you're getting players up for games and that. If you've lost that as a manager, what have you got left? He's not tactically a great manager. He's somebody who can get players up for it.
I can't even look back now at our last National League South run and have think of the good times.
Really sad.
It's really sad, and it is sad because it I had a family bereavement that year, and it really promotion was great, but I can't look back on that now with any pride because we're back where we started, and it was never meant to be this way. Sad. And when we go into part 2, I mean, club's a mess.
Yeah. And then the club played a blinder last night by issuing a club statement last night, and we were like, "Oh, club statement! Oh, it's
gone.
I woke
it's
up
gone."
Because I was asleep when it came out, and I was like, "Oh, what club statement? What?" And then I read it, and I was like, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me."
I did get a few messages from fans, from friends, saying you might have just sacked Gary Johnson, and I was like, I don't think we have.
Club statement at 11 p.m.
Yeah, but that's for part 2 because Sharon doesn't deserve to hear any more.
No.
You have to wait till tomorrow.
Having when I was there, and obviously full-time whistle went, and the chants and the anger, and we've been there. We get it.
Yeah, I was going to say
100%. Like it's horrible when you feel
you could feel the bad vibes, Sheridan, couldn't you? I'm sure. Even
honestly, yeah, I was like, it's
before kickoff.
When you feel like your team is like, you don't have that connect with them, you feel like it's slipping away. You have no control over it, and we 100% get it. It's why we're enjoying now so much is because we've been there.
But you have to.
Yeah.
You have to though, because
these
things are all. They all come in cycles.
We were on the south and all stuff like that. We enjoyed so much.
You remember last season, the pain of last season. You got to enjoy this. Otherwise, why'd you do it?
What's the point? Yeah.
So many people say to me, "Oh well, you the level you're at." I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, we were exactly the same. It was the best time to be a Torquay fan when we were on the south. So we were exactly the same.
Yeah.
Especially when it's your first time doing
Saturday, it will all be back on.
No, it won't.
Gary in, Gary out, Gary in, Gary out.
Very much the way it is, really is.
Remains
just when all looks lost and you've had some bad results, we get that one win like we did last Saturday against Bath, and all of a sudden it just kind of nullifies the voices a little bit.
It's funny. you jokingly said that last week on Twitter to me, Sheridan. He's always Gary in this week, is it? And my cousin says exactly the same thing because it's Gary. No, you've won a game.
Because we still win a lot more games than we normally
would. I don't think it is. It doesn't make a difference to me now.
It's not for me.
If we win a game, that's great, and I enjoy it because there's some people that can't even enjoy his winning games at the moment. But I enjoy his winning games. But the general malaise at the club doesn't change because you win a game. Because then as soon as you lose a game, we're back here again, and it doesn't change anything.
We've lost 7 games this season, 7 out of 16.
We lost.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, we lost 8 in our title-winning run last time.
Yeah. Wow, gosh,
going to be a hell of a run now.
And that was 42 games we played that season as well.
Yeah, when we come to Yeovil for the title decider on Good Friday. Woo! What a run it's going to be.
At least we'll double the attendance they brought down to us. Or even triple it probably.
Oh, great. Yeah, great. That's really going to cheer me up.
No doubt. Sheridan will have booked the rain for Good Friday as well, I'm sure.
Going to get us some hospitality at Yeovil for that.
I admire your deflection on the result and how we were so on this.
You were. You were 100%. You deserve the win. I've got no arguments with that.
And you know what? All your fans were very complimentary, and I like the rivalry. I loved the whole Frank Newblade chants and stuff. I thought it was hilarious. I thought he was up for it, wasn't he? Goodness me. Afterwards, he sort of said, didn't he, that he enjoyed his time there. And
the fact that people get rattled when someone celebrates in front of them still, just like when an opposition player celebrates in front of you, don't lose your head. Like, you know that photo you put of on your Twitter? Well, in the bottom left, you can see me, and there's just a guy absolutely losing his head. Like, don't lose your head, because that gives them what they need.
Yeah.
And like,
it was quite funny. I did comment to my dad when he did that and celebrate all the rest of it. And it goes to show how football gets your emotions at the minute. I've always thought that thing about when players don't celebrate against former clubs. I've always thought how stupid. You play for another club now, celebrate for them. But at that moment, it really wound me up. And I was like, have a bit of respect, man. Crikey, you were here 6 months ago. Have a bit of respect.
Oh, we're here for a whole 10 games.
I don't care, actually. No,
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You need characters like Frank around, don't you?
Oh, what a bloke!
He's a leader, somebody who brings the best out of other players. That's what you want.
I just laughed because if you don't, you'll cry or get angry. No. So I just a bit like that Torquay Weymouth mind the gap chant. That made me laugh for some reason. That was quite funny. I found.
That was a bit weird.
I was thinking
that was a weird.
I do feel like Yeovil had such an easy chance to put like so many good chances out there, and it didn't really land. But
Johnson
never mind.
was a good one.
It's not
Johnson
to worry about right now, really.
Yeah.
For the last 10 years, we've been saying how shit must you be? We lose every week. So
how shit must you be? You're only 2 goals out. That's what I said.
Yeah,
I think they meant Johnson in one, didn't they? They were serious about the keep him in.
Yeah. And then they started the Johnson give us a wave. And I was thinking, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Gary, do it.
If I was Gary Johnson, I would have done it, honestly.
Yeah, what was it, Gary Johnson, we want you to stay?
That was the best one, right? We'll give you that one.
We could have smuggled him into your boot, Sheridan, couldn't we?
Yeah.
We're taking him back with you.
Oh,
yeah, that saved us some petrol money on the way home.
If you'd have said to me 12 months ago that Mark Cooper would have his own chant, I would have said, really?
Yeah, he was a
positive one,
was he, for a little while?
Yeah.
So.
No, he took us down. That
was the worst bit. I went back in after full time and he was walking past and I was just like, well done, mate, you deserve that, Oof.
It's just like,
but
kick him out.
Deserved it.
So you can keep him out in Zoom, can't you? Where is it?
Yeah. Well, we're going to end our first episode now. I'm going to have to take a break for the second one because this has been a long one. And I'm going to have to get myself prepared.
Wind himself up, ready to go in.
The main thing is away support rather than results, isn't it?
Yes. You know that Twitter meme
that's
when
what
it's
clubs,
like
that's what clubs are judged on, isn't it?
No, you know that Twitter meme when it's like like Arsenal fans are getting done for it because they're going, oh, Havertz looks really good, and they just recrop the score to be like, oh, Torquay 4, Yeovil 3. Bad away following, like 90 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. That's literally what we're going to walk into if we keep going on about it.
Sheridan's going to go off here talking to her mates. She's like, you wouldn't believe the straws they're clutching out there. They're talking about fan numbers as a way of...
Those arseholes, who do they think they are?
I get atmosphere from the fans that created, but I hate people who talk about fan numbers. So, embarrassing.
Back in hospitality next Saturday, is it, for the trophy game, Sheridan? Or
I don't know. I think I'm doing Chelsea women that day, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think I'm at Stamford Bridge.
Wow.
You get to speak about Emma Hayes leaving as well, so
Yeah,
you'll be well up on that one. So
but
nice
I'll
one.
get the goal alerts, so don't worry.
Yeah, I won't. I'll be my phone will be buried for 24 hours. Right. Anyway, thank you for watching us all. Amazing. Thank you for joining us again, Sheridan. I've really enjoyed it as ever, especially the football part. And then we'll see you in part 2.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.